What's up, Rated G fans? Just want to give you a quick heads up that the spring market will soon be starting here in Richmond, Virginia. So if you're a local, mark your calendars. Starting April 2nd, they will have their regular every weekend spring market going on. And I will have a booth set up on April 16th. So, if you want to come check out my setup, you want to come say hello, just mark your calendar for April 16th. That's the pop-up market at the Diamond Stadium. There's going to be drinks, live music. I don't know how many vendors, but enough to there's a lot of there's a lot there. There's a lot going on there. A lot of fun. I think they have like family activities, like games and stuff that you can, play out there. It's going to be a good time. Check it out. Support your local vendors, your local artists, creators. Spread the love. So that's it. Let's get to the show. I saw the host of the show, and I was like, let me try to get his attention and be like, yo, is there any way I can get this to her? So I did. And as I'm talking to him and showing him the picture, I'm like, look, man, I was like, I would like, I'm not on the VIP list, but I was just like, I'd like to get this to her so that it doesn't end up in the trash. And he was like, oh, that's pretty good. And and then he pulled the owner, which I didn't realize he was right there. The host was on my right, and then the owner was like on my left. So I was like, oh shit, he's like right there. I said the same thing to him, like, look, hey, I don't want, I'm not trying to be like inconvenient or anything. I was like, I'm not on a VIP list, but I would like to, make, if possible, get this portrait to her because she's seen it on social media. I was like, I'd like to give it to her somehow. I was like, I was like, as long as it doesn't end up in the garbage, So as I'm saying that to him and explaining it to him, I didn't realize, but Annie was right behind me, about walking up towards the line to the VIP crowd, and he pulls. He's like, "Oh, hey, Annie, so and so," and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like now I'm face to face with Annie Letterman. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Rated G podcast. I'm your host, G Terrado. Gonna have another one-on-one session today. Just me, myself, and I. Actually, that's a lie. That's not one-on-one, is it? No. I'm just literally talking out of my ass already. But for those of you who are new here, welcome to the show. This is a weekly podcast where I sit down and share my honest thoughts and views on everything and anything art related, and also just other aspects in life. And I often have special guests on the show, local artists and creators like myself or unlike myself. And same thing, we just exchange long form conversation, just talking about our passions, the things that keep us going. And it's always a beautiful experience. So if you enjoy that content, please be sure to hit that follow or subscribe button. If you're tuning in with the audio platforms like podcasts or Spotify or Google Podcasts, please subscribe, rate and review the podcast. That would be awesome. And also share with your friends. Also, if you are watching via YouTube, please also subscribe to my channel. Trying to, grow my channel there. Trying to post some new content as well as the weekly episodes of Rated G. Subscribe to my channel, ring the bell. That way you can keep up with all my regular posts. And I think that's it. Lastly, be sure to check out the show descriptions. That way, if you want to follow myself or my featured guests, I will provide the links to all of our active platforms. I have a link tree provided in there. So again, if you want to come follow me and see what I'm up to, on the daily. Check out my link tree provided in the show notes. All right. Yeah. And now let's get to the show. So I should address today is St. Patty's Day. But by the time this comes out, because everything is recorded the week prior, so by the time this comes out, it won't be. So that's just poor planning on my part. And also, I don't really celebrate St. Patty's Day, so I'm trying my best here to make up for the lack of awareness. But this is like the greenest thing I have in my apparel. So yeah, I will admit, growing up when I was little, I used to be obsessed with the Lord of the Dance, which is like this. I don't even know what to call it really, but it's all the tap dancing. If you grew up in the '90s, the '80s and '90s, you would know what I'm talking about. Maybe, I don't know. It depends how much culture you have, because super like like it's a sequel to the river dance. So if you know about that stuff, like the tap dancing and all that, then you might be aware of Michael Flatley, who was the lead of those two shows. And yeah, that's the only like thing I can correlate to St. Patty's Day, or at least the Irish holiday. I will say I have a based on my notes for this episode, it looks like there's a lot going on. So I'm going to do my best to try to keep this around 60 minutes. That way I know I'm not really just going off on long ass tangents, trying to be more aware. Also, if you listen to the last episode, because maybe I didn't put it at the post yet, but I've made it a point where I've addressed how sort of aggressive I am on that episode. And I will say it was a fun episode recording it. And I often don't say that about my solo recordings, but I don't know. I had a lot of fun just going off on rants and trying the new segment out, unnecessary deep dive. And I don't know. It was a lot of fun, but I've noticed I'm like, damn, I'm really aggressive when I'm just talking my shit. I didn't say it in the episode, but I have said in like my stories or whatever it was I posted about it. I was like, yeah, completely. I was like, I was sober during this recording. Like I hadn't smoked since I had caught COVID. So it was just like a sober G Torado just talking his shit. And, but I'm back on my meds. So there's something green there. I'm back on my meds, and I feel pretty calm now. I don't know if it's coming off that way if you're watching or listening, but yeah. But anyway, there's a tangent right there. I do have a fun fact about St. Patty's Day. I think it's one of those like interesting facts that I guess not everyone may be aware of, but this is an interesting fact that I've got from history.com. So I don't know how true they are, but yeah. So what I pulled here is much of what is known about St. Patrick's life has been interwoven with folklore and legend. Historians generally believe that St. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland, was born in Britain, not in Ireland. So near the end of the 4th century, at age 16, he was kidnapped by Irish raiders and sold as a slave to a Celtic priest in Northern Ireland. After toiling for 6 years as a shepherd, he escaped back to Britain. He eventually returned to Ireland as a Christian missionary. So that's the little tidbit there. I didn't know about that. So yeah, there you go. Another little contribution to the holiday. So yeah, a little fun fact there. Now moving on, I actually wanted to really start the episode by recapping the last weekend, the weekend of the 12th. It was a very productive and fun sort of like date night weekend. But yeah, something we there. So here in Richmond, there's a comedy club, the Sandman Comedy Club, and we've been going there a lot, especially when a well-known comic is visiting. So we've been going there a lot, and this weekend or that weekend, Annie Letterman was coming to Richmond. And if you don't know her, she's a hilarious stand-up comedian. She has some resemblance of Scarlett Johansson. She's appeared on Joe Rogan numerous times. She has a podcast with Kalila Kuhn and why am I blanking out on those other comics? Esther Pavinsky, I want to say. I apologize if I'm getting that wrong. They have a podcast called Trash Tuesdays. So I'm a fan of that podcast as well. And so yeah, it was really cool seeing Annie Letterman come to town. And out of excitement, I tend to do a portrait of the comedian. So that's what I did. I did this portrait of Annie. I finished it in ink, and I posted it up so you can check it out on my social media. So I shared it, and of course I tagged her, and she actually saw it, loved it, and shared it in her stories, which really helped gain. I mean, it shouldn't matter, but I do, unfortunately, I do sort of obsess over how much engagement, how much views I'm getting, because I'm trying to grow here. But it was nice seeing the views, spike up. Thanks to her, just all thanks to her for sharing it in her stories, and it definitely, gave me some eyes, and so that was really nice. Especially after which episode was it? Well, I think it was 107. I was bitching about how my Instagram reel on my personal account gained more views and plays than any of my artwork reels on my business page. So I'm like, why? So I was really questioning the algorithm there, because I only had one algorithm in my on the personal account on that reel. So I'm like, what? Like, so many views. But anyway, it shouldn't matter. The numbers shouldn't matter, but it was just nice. Like, all right, finally something, art related, something that I worked on is really gaining a lot of views here. And it's not even much. It's just like a quick, like zooming in and out, transition clip. And yeah, so anyway, so that was cool. She shared it in her stories. I gained a lot of views. And then Saturday night, like all this happened, like during Friday. So then Saturday night, Nicole and I, we go out to eat, and then we went to see Annie Letterman perform at Sandman. And I had the picture with me because I'm like, you know what? Now that she knows, because I've commented on her posts saying like, hey, can't wait to see you perform, and I was like, since you like this portrait, I'm like, it's all yours. You can have it if you want it. And I don't know if they like that, like comics or any celebrities like that. So I didn't want to be too pushy, although I was like tagging the shit out of her, just letting her know, I'm like, yo, I'm coming through with this picture. So like, it'd be cool. Like if you want it, you can have it, rather than just, because if she didn't take it, if I wasn't able to get it to her, I was just going to do a random art hunt and just leave it somewhere with the Post-it note saying free art, follow Art of G Torado, and just leave it at a table or something on the way out. But so I had it with me. The show was great. She fucking killed it. It was hilarious. The comic that opened for her, I don't want to botch his last name, but I'm sort of in talks with having him on the show, because he was hilarious. Kevin Dombrowski. I'm sorry, I'm butchering it right now. I'm just trying to be careful. But Kevin Dombrowski, funny as hell. So check him out. He has Kevin Dombrowski comedy, all right, on Instagram. Give him a follow. But yeah, I'm trying to work out having him on the podcast. I think it'd be really awesome because there was a lot of stuff in his material that resonated with me, and I figure why not try to have a sit down with him on the Rated G podcast and talk about the art form of comedy, because I really do believe that is such an underrated form of not just art but medicine. Because when you're in a room with a comic, just going off with this great, hilarious materials, offensive, but everyone's in there together. We're all laughing together, even though there's a lot of, there may be a lot of controversial topics or whatever. If you're in there, you're free, you're laughing at all the jokes. It kind of just helps you forget about the drama, the global drama, the craziness that's going on right now. So anyway, yeah, hoping to really be able to lock down a sit down with him and shoot the shit and talk about comedy. I'm excited. So you'll know if it happens. You'll know because it'll be out there. But moving, kind of going back to the night at Sandman Comedy Club. So they kill it. Then we're about to leave. And there was, the VIP, they got to line up for, getting pictures and autograph signings from Annie. And it was like right underneath us. So I don't know if anyone out there that lives in Richmond, you might, and who have been to the club, you might know what I'm talking about. But there's like not a second floor, but there's like a balcony, like second level. So underneath those stairs that lead up to that, that's where everyone was lining up for pictures and signings. And I was pretty much ready. I'm like, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna be able to get it to her. Like, maybe I should leave it on the stage or on the table. But I want to be able to like do it quick without anyone seeing me. But it was just, there was so much going on. So I'm like, oh, someone's gonna notice. I don't know. Like, I wanted to be out of there first. I don't know why. But then I saw the host of the show, and I was like, let me try to get his attention and be like, yo, is there any way I can get this to her? So I did. And as I'm talking to him and showing him the picture, I'm like, look, man, like, I would like, I'm not on the VIP list, but I was just like, I'd like to get this to her so that it doesn't end up in the trash. And he was like, oh, that's pretty good. And like, and then he pulled the owner, which I didn't realize he was right there. The host was on my right, and then the owner was like on my left. So I was like, oh shit, he's like right there. I said the same thing to him, like, look, hey, like, I don't want, I'm not trying to be like inconvenient or anything. I was like, I'm not on a VIP list, but I would like to, make, if possible, get this portrait to her, because she's seen it on social media. I was like, I'd like to give it to her somehow. I was like, I was like, as long as it doesn't end up in the garbage, So as I'm saying that to him and explaining it to him, I didn't realize, but Annie was right behind me, about walking up towards the line to the VIP crowd, and he pulls her. He's like, oh, hey, Annie, so and so, and I was like, oh shit. Like, now I'm face to face with Annie Letterman. I was giving her the picture, and she asked for my name. I was like, yeah, it's G. You know, and then just, saying all the fangirl shit, which they would say, like, oh, you killed it, blah, blah, blah. I'm a fan of Trash Tuesday, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it was cool. Just like, I mean, I didn't get to really talk. It was funny when I was giving her the picture because she, clearly recognized it. And she's like, very appreciative. And she was like, yeah, like, man, I was like, I want to see all of you. Like, she says something like, oh man, I hate this. Like, I guess just the fact that she couldn't interact with all the fans, it was just a VIP and that's it. I guess, so whatever. It was just cool being able to exchange even just a little amount of words with her. That was cool. She gave me a fist pound, and that was it. And then I started talking to Kevin, the guy that opened for her, and he was talking to Nicole because he lives in New Jersey. Oh geez, where did he move from? But he moved to New Jersey with his girlfriend, and then just all that material was like kind of like hitting me to my core, and it was hilarious. So yeah, that was such a good night. It was a great date night. Because before we went to the show, we stopped at this burger spot called Cobra Cabana, and that shit was delicious. Big ass burgers. I had a double patty. I got to go big or go home. But I had to really scarf it down pretty quick. But that shit was massive. So big, the table next to us with this family, or I guess it was me. I don't know if they're all family, but there's a party of four. Apparently, the two gentlemen there were sort of betting between each other on if I could finish the burger or not. I didn't finish all the fries, and I didn't save them, and I hate wasting food. But I was just like, I was just like, the French fries. Like, I didn't finish the fries, but you bet your ass I finished that burger. That shit was delicious. There were no regrets. It started getting a little sloppy once I ran out of bread, but that shit was so good. I just wish I could have enjoyed it a little bit longer, but we really had to make time for, being able to find a parking spot for the show. But yeah, so on our way out, the guys were telling me like, yeah, we weren't sure if you were gonna make it, if you're gonna be able to finish that. And I was like, look, guys, like, I don't play around when it comes to meat. Like, I'm gonna finish that. Like, I rarely save any leftovers, especially involving meat. So yeah, that was funny. It was a great night. But yeah, that Sunday and the next day, I decided to repost some of the, because I was coming off this high from that night. It was such a great night, great experience. Like just sharing some words with Annie. So I reposted some of the recent comedian portraits that I've worked on. Which led to some of their recognition. Some of them shared it in their stories, liked it, even commented, saying, nice work. It was awesome. It helped me just, again, gain some recognition from not only the comedians, but some of my followers, gained a couple of followers. I just felt like it was overwhelming. It was overwhelmingly good. Like the feeling is all this positive stuff happening right now. I feel like things are kind of starting to get on track for me. I started working for Holloway RVA again. I'm able to make some money and save it, put it towards the business, because now I'm trying to do more events, more markets. So I have a lot of investments I got to make for like equipment, tools, and stuff like that. So yeah, I have some commissions I need to work on, which is actually, this would be a great segue into getting into woo, yeah, progress. Yeah, I've got some commissions lined up. which thank you if you happen to be listening. um, yeah, I got some commissions I need to work on, although I've kind of hit this sort of creative block, which I find irony because, I mean, which explains this, we're getting into the title of this episode, creative irony. And the irony of this whole thing is that, like, or let me get into the struggle, because it's not so much the being creative. Well, I mean, it depends on which one I'm talking about, because there's a few. But I guess at the time when I was writing this down, like making note of, like, I want to talk about this, but I have a commission that that requires. So I'm basically drawing a few of these friends in the style of the cartoon King of the Hill, and it's like it's not very detailed with the character designs. It's a little simpler to what I'm used to, I guess. Very simply designed, and I don't know. I guess maybe I just because of the style of it. It's hard. It's been difficult for me to get it started and start taking these references that I have and start throwing them in the universe of the King of the Hill style. I don't know how to describe it. It reminds me of the Beavis and Butthead style of character designs. So, so yeah, I'm having trouble like getting that started. I don't know why. And part of me thinks that it's because it's a simpler design style. I seem a little more hesitant on, like, I don't know, like, because I've had commissions where I was excited to work on, and you know, I'm grateful that I have a commission to work on in the first place, but it's just, this is the irony of it, because like now, like, it's like almost kind of, when I'm doing it, it's like just more, it's just for the money I feel like I'm at this point, and I don't like that. I like to be excited about the commissions I work on, and I often am. But just because the style that I have to draw it in, like I did a Dragon Ball Z styled commission, and I had a lot of fun with that. Obviously, because I mean I'm more biased because I am a fan of Dragon Ball Z. So, of course, I was excited to turn this father and his daughter into DBZ characters. But yeah, for some reason, drawing these individuals into the King of the Hill character style, it's just this is really, I don't know. It has a little more of a build up than I anticipated. And you would think, because it's like an easier style, or simpler style, I should say, that it would be easier for me to just bang out, but it's just, I don't know. I don't want to say it's less inspiring or less creative, but it just lacks a little excitement for me, I guess. So I got to figure out some way to make it exciting, and I'm slowly getting to that mentally. It's just a matter of sitting down, and then, because I have a basic layout ready, I know where my characters are going. I already know what background I'm using. It's just really a matter of trying to get the details right. So I might just have to sit down, spend, maybe 20 minutes to at least maybe an hour of just, because I'm afraid I might draw not characters, but I might draw them too realistically, where I want it to look like they were meant to be in that universe of King of the Hill. So I want to make sure I'm sticking to the blueprint. So I might have to do some practice runs and just like sketch them out, see like how I would render them in that style. Maybe we'll see. But again, so that's why I feel like that's why I call it the creative irony, because it's a simpler design, but I'm struggling to get that started because it's simpler, it's less exciting for me as an artist. Speaking as an artist, I have nothing against the style of it or anything. It's I don't know. I've been working on portraits for how long now, and I mean, if you're familiar with my work, you might understand like where the struggle I'm having is. I used to draw zombies, and that shit was always highly detailed. So, you know, it is what it is. It's just something I've been feeling, and it made me think about an old episode that I recorded, episode 59. 59. We're at 109 right now, right? So it's crazy. 50 episodes later. Wow. But yeah, episode 59, titled Finding the Muse versus Setting the Mood. And I thought at first I thought, oh, I might have to listen. I mean, I did listen back on it a little bit to see if if this is like a repeat. And it kind of is. But I feel like I'm a little more aware of it now and understand like I just have to get it started. Because sometimes I do use music or something to kind of drive me through the creative process. And they always have to be related. So if I'm working on a character from some TV show, I'm gonna probably listen to that soundtrack or have compilation videos play in the background. I'm always doing stuff like that. So I might approach it. I'm probably gonna approach it differently this time. But yeah, we'll see. Time will tell. Hopefully by the time this comes out, I'll have something started already. Because I need to make some money. Got shows coming up. Anyway. So actually, in another episode, I spoke about sort of working on some designs to kind of rebrand the podcast again with just different visuals, with the watermarks and all that stuff, texts, pop-up texts. But I'm actually going to hold off on that. All right, I'm going to put a pin on it and actually shift the focus on just the logo of my business as a whole. So I'm gonna keep what I have for Rated G. I do like it. It's different, but for Art of G Torado, I was like, I need like an actual logo, something I could watermark, not just the signature, Art of G Torado, as you see on the hat here. So I wanted to add something to it, and that's what I did over the last couple of days. I came up with 3 designs, 3 concepts. And I'll make sure I will show it here somewhere on the screen, the 3 designs. But yeah, I did a poll on it on social media to see, just to see what people like the most out of the 3. And I was kind of leaning towards, all right, whichever one gets the most votes, I will choose that one to be the main logo. And then the other 2 designs I would just make for, limited merch. But then I started leaning away from what everyone was going for. And then as I'm realizing, because I made some changes on this 3rd design, and after making those changes, I'm like, I like this one a little bit more now. It stands out of the other 2. And my brother Ferd, He's been on the show. Check it out. He's the one that inspired this whole thing for me. Fucking phenomenal artist. He actually pointed out something. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, you're right. I mean, it's a little different than me personally, what I'm actually thinking, but I mean, it's like it's all together, all the same. And so I'll just talk about it. So and I'll have it on the screen if you're watching. So the first design is me hanging on a mechanical pencil, because it's what I use. And the other designs, it's based on tools that I use. So the first one is the mechanical pencil, and so my initial intention was that with the signature of the Art of G Torado, I wanted to, I guess I designed it so that the logo would make the exclamation point. So it's like Art of G Torado, right? Make it exciting. So to emulate that visual, it's me hanging on the tool that I use, the utensil. And so with the pencil, the like the period part of the exclamation point, the point would be a kneaded eraser. So you have that one. That was the first design, and then the second design is me hanging on a ink brush pen, and the point, the dot, I should say, that dot of the exclamation point is just like a fancy like ink dot, black dot. So there's that one, and a lot of people have been drawn to those two designs. And the third one is me hanging on a water brush, So some of you might be familiar. For those who aren't, it's basically just it's like a the handle, it holds water, and you kind of squeeze it to release more water, working with like watercolors. And so yeah, it's a water brush. And it's transparent. So I don't know. I just thought this was like the most fun design, because I make it so you can kind of see through it a little bit. You see that there's water in it. You can see like my other arm wrapping around it. Like it kind of gives it some dimensions. And then the point of the exclamation is just like the water drop. It kind of looks like a water drop, really. So yeah, I felt like visually, or there's more going on with it, but because of that, I was like, oh, maybe it's that logo is too busy. But the more I look at it, I'm like, oh, I do like it. It stands out more. And what my brother pointed out, which it made sense. I was like, oh shit, maybe, yeah, that is a reason. I mean that's totally justified. I might be using the wrong word, but I agreed. All right, I agreed. And but for me, I think it was just there's more going on with it. Like you can see the inside of the brush pen, the water brush, I should say. Sorry, I'm starting to confuse myself. The water brush, you can see inside, and I just feel like there's more stuff going on with it. And I made I didn't want to make the other utensils black, even though in actuality, they are black. But I felt like it was so dark. There's too much darkness to it overall, like the color palette. But my brother pointed out that the first two, the pencil and the brush pen, it would draw too much attention to the pen and pencil, the utensils. Whereas the third design, he said that it drew attention to the character hanging on to it, which is me. And I mean, there is truth to that, but me looking at it, me personally, it was just that the utensil, the tool, stood out the most. Just it wasn't black, or it wasn't. It was like, because I didn't make it black. It was like really dark gray, but I didn't make it dark. I made it. I just like kind of try to emulate the reality, what it actually looks like, and yeah, I don't know. So I'm thinking that might be my. Yeah, it is. Like I've already decided it is. So I'll be posting it shortly. By the time this episode is out, it'll already be known. Uh, so yeah, and it'll be in the end of at the end credits of this episode. But anyway, it was fun seeing the results of the poll, just seeing what everyone was thinking. So yeah, I'm happy with it. Nicole wasn't that thrilled when I first pitched it to her. When I showed it to her, it was just a sketch, and she like immediately shut it down. And I'm like, look, hold on, like it's I still have to color it and everything and render it out. So I was like, wait till it's finished. And I actually didn't even ask her yet. I kind of just, I don't know, just seeing enough of the feedback I've been getting. I'm happy with it, regardless of her opinions. But yeah, so now I'm thinking when I have enough finances, I'll probably make some limited, I don't know, T-shirts or stickers or something with those other two variants, and yeah, hopefully people will like them and want to buy them. So yeah, just something to look forward to. So yeah, that's that. Woo! I need to adjust my posture. I've noticed in the past episodes, I'm always hunching over. I'm trying to work on that. All right, so bear with me. Who knows? Maybe now that I pointed it out, maybe you might be aware of whether or not you're hunching over, watching, or whatever. It's good to have a strong posture. Anyway, let's get to this week's segment of Unnecessary Deep Dive. Recently, I got heavily hooked onto this new HBO series, Our Flag Means Death. It's a pirate show involving Blackbeard and what's his name? Steed. Played by, and actually the show was written by Taika Waititi. So as soon as I knew that show was written by him, and he's in it too, he plays Blackbeard, and Rhys Darby, who is a New Zealand comedian actor. He's been in Yes Man, Flight of the Conchords. What else? I know he's been in other stuff. I can't put my finger on it. But he's been around. He's hilarious. Steed Bonnet. Thank you. Oh, I was just about to type it in. I remembered. Anyway, it's fucking hilarious, man. So yeah, anytime I see a title that involves Taika Waititi, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be good. I just love his comedic writing, just the humor that's displayed in his projects. I started watching. So I loved. I was gonna bring it up anyway. I'll just bring it up now. I'll recommend these right now. If you're, maybe people recognize Taika Waititi for doing, was it the third Thor movie, right? What is it called? Ragnarok. Jesus. Thor Ragnarok. He did that one, and it was awesome. And so he's also worked on, which I recommend, What We Do in the Shadows, which came out as a film. It's fucking hilarious. It stars himself, Reese Darby, Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords. And so, yeah, and then it turned into a HBO series, which I started watching, and it's funny. I just didn't get that far into it, but I probably will after finishing Our Flag Means Death. But yeah, so that I recommend the movie and the series too. If you like the movie enough and you want to check out the series, go for it. I definitely recommend the movie. And he worked on Jojo Rabbit, which is took place in was it World War II? No, World War One. I'm terrible. The Nazi war with Hitler, which Taika played. He played Hitler in it. Or at least, well, I don't want to spoil anything. It also stars Scarlett Johansson. It's hilarious, although it has like real touching moments, some like tearjerker scenes. But it's just another brilliant film. Just the way he writes his comedy, the humor. It's so funny. I don't know. I don't know how else to describe it. I don't know if that falls into like a specific category of comedy or humor. You know, because you have alternative humor, dark humor, dry. Honestly, it's all the same to me. It's all like intertwined. But anyway, that's a brilliant movie. And he has another show, which I think is on Hulu. It's another one I've started but didn't get to continue. I don't have Hulu. But that one's called Reservation Dogs, which is from what I watched, it's funny, but it just holds just a little different tone than the rest of the stuff that I've seen of his. But it's still funny. Like the writing is great. Yeah, man, he's killing it. He's killing. He just won an award also. But yeah. Anyway, what I love that he does I'll just say in all his productions is that and I started realizing it more watching this show, this pirate show. Just like he's able to capture and display the character's vulnerability, even though we know them as these brute animals, like savages, you know, like if we're talking about Jojo Rabbit, like we're talking about like how he portrays Hitler. It's just like, like, you know, it's fucking Hitler. I should be killed. I should be like, you know, I shouldn't be laughing at this or anything, or just finding any level to sympathize with him. But I don't know, or not even sympathize, but just like laugh at and think is funny. Like, you know, so he brings this certain trait out of these characters that makes you, you know, that resonate with you. And oh, sorry, my nose is getting itchy. I'm so touched. No, but for real though, he does capture this vulnerability and especially with Blackbeard. I mean, it's not spoiler. Oh, spoiler if you haven't watched it. Sorry. That's the spoiler thing. But yeah, he's able to draw these certain characteristics out of these, you know, these crazy, you know, historical figures. You know, we're talking about Blackbeard here. And it's just like, oh, but you're seeing a side of him that's different. And you're seeing a funny side of piracy, the lifestyle of being a pirate. And I mean, to sort of give you a quick summary without really spoiling anything, but the right now the plot of the story is that Steve Bonnet, who was, you know, he grew up rich, you know, had all this money, I believe, and he had a good life. He had a family, he had a wife, 2 kids, and like he was pretty set. But that life was so monotonous for him that he would often sort of just obsess over the idea of living as a pirate. And when he would play with his, I'm not gonna get into too much. So so Steve Bonnet leaves his luxurious life to become a pirate, but he's so bad at it. But so that's his journey, is becoming a better pirate. But then he creates this sort of I don't want to say niche, but he's like trying to make this new style of piracy. I mean, I don't know if I should say what. Look, I've already warned you. Spoiler alert. So anyway, he wants to start this new trend called a gentleman pirate. So like, I guess they still pursue the life as a pirate, but it's just nicer. So if they're raiding boats and ships and stuff, it's just not as savagery as you would normally think of a pirate. So anyway, he meets Blackbeard, who's just like this dark, this murderous pirate. But you kind of see these these other sides of him, of his character, and it's heartwarming. There's like this nice brother, like this brotherly like bond that they create, and it's a heartwarming, funny series so far. And and it's just crazy, because then like if you're really trying to like pull a positive message out of this so far, at least what I've gained is that like anybody, like it's just the traumas, like we are sort of a product of our trauma, no matter how well or how poorly we've dealt with it and coped with it, but we are still a product of our trauma. So at least right now, that's pretty. It sounds deep in my head, but I don't know. But that's what I've gotten so far out of watching the series, and I'm trying my best not to binge it. The first night of watching it, I think I watched 2 or 3 episodes, and I was like, all right, I gotta stop, because these are about like 30 minutes per episode. So I'm like, I can't. I'm gonna try to watch this like a traditional normal person. Like I'll just watch 1 episode a day or a couple days. Like it's been a couple of days since I've watched an episode. Oh my God, an episode, and I feel like I'm getting real close to the end of the first season already. So I'm just like kind of waiting it out to maybe I'll watch it over the weekend, a new episode. But yeah, I'm really trying to really absorb this series and just digest it and really enjoy it. That's the thing. We have, we can just watch a whole fucking season in one day. No, I say no. I want to enjoy this series. Anyway, that's what I've been loving about this show so far. Just the writing and the storytelling. Even the casting, the characters in it is, I don't know, man. Just there's a lot of things I really enjoy about it, and who knows where it's gonna go? There's a lot of familiar faces making cameos in the series. A lot of funny people, comics, actors. So check it out. If you're a fan of Taika Waititi, I think you'll enjoy this show. I don't want to say too much. Check it out. Our Flag Means Death. It's on HBO Max. It's hilarious. But that's my unnecessary deep dive. I feel like I didn't. Well, that was kind of a deep dive, a little bit, right? Like, I think what I said there was kind of deep. I don't know. I guess this is where I wish I had somebody to talk to about right now. Just to get a reaction. It's all good. Well, yeah, that's my unnecessary deep dive. Let's end this episode with a follower question that was submitted by one of my oldest friends. Shout out to Kearns, Patrick Kearns, at Kearns DV. He asks, you've talked about the old movies we made with Vanessa on your podcast. So if you could remake one of our videos right now, which would it be? I probably would pick Pat Lee. Haha. So to kind of give some context of this, this is a shout out to Pat. Thanks for submitting a question. So yeah, to kind of give context, Pat is one of my oldest friends. He's like a brother from another mother. And yeah, when we were little, I've talked about it with Vanessa, who made a recent appearance on a podcast, 105. It's a great episode. But yeah, we've talked about making home movies back in the day, up until like from elementary school to like high school is when we sort of stopped. Man, I feel like we were ahead of our time, man. We filmed so many mindless, stupid, hilarious home movies that were like, man, I can't even tell you, like the batch of like, this was during the time we had the mini DV cameras, and you had like the mini cassette tapes, and man, we have like 2 bags full of them. I don't know I forget how many total tapes we have, but my friends in Jersey, they have 1 batch, and then one of our oldest friends who ended up moving out of town. He's in now Salt Lake City, I think. Shout out to Hubert Gorka. He has the other batch. I don't know how many is in that bag, but he has the other half of all of our collection of home movies. And man, there's just so many. Whew, that's tough. Yeah, I'm gonna have to dive back into my, I think, Facebook to pull any clips of our home videos, because none of the tapes have been digitized. There's only a couple like rare. There's 2 rare videos that we have that's on YouTube that was posted by another homeboy of mine from my childhood, Tommy. I mentioned him a couple times on the podcast. But yeah, it was a music video, and then like this silly movie with me and our friend John as Mike Myers. It's silly. That I can provide. So Pat, he chooses this movie called Pat Lee. I mean, if he can do the math, it's basically him as Bruce Lee. And yo, oh man, just thinking about how we used to film that shit, because like it was just so low budget. We had no mics or nothing. We literally just had the little fucking, we've worked with a camcorder and mini DV cameras, and oh man, just thinking about it, because we would do like the dubbed voices, but because everything was all in-camera editing, like we would have the camera guy, and then it would either be the camera guy or someone else do Pat, the Bruce Lee type voice for Pat. And it was me usually. So I would just, I guess I don't know which one you're referring to, Pat, because we've had multiple Pat Lees. We had one where we filmed at Hubert's house. And that one was kind of like our quote unquote full length movie, but Pat and I have done a shorter, right? I think we've done a shorter Pat Lee movie in my room. Oh man, it's so silly. I wish I had a copy of that so I could share it. Oh man, but so that one anytime working a camera, I was always doing the voice for Pat Lee, and or no, maybe that wasn't Pat Lee. I think that was just Ninja Pat. These characters are so silly. So funny. Pat Lee is good. I guess we only really did do one. I'm getting them mixed up. But Pat Lee is good because we really try. We put a lot of effort into that one in terms of like the story and the plot and everything. We did put some thought into it. Oh man, but my favorite that's tough, man. And especially like, so if you're listening or watching, I apologize if this part is boring to you because you have no relation to it, or there's no referring to it. Like I have nothing to play back really. I can share some clips of the stuff with the Mike Myers bit, but yeah, damn. Honestly, I have to go, and we talk about this all the time. And by we, I'm saying me, you, Pat, Tommy, Pierre, we talk, Davey, Hubert. We talk about this all the fucking time. But I have to say, the Spanish movie, and by and we call it the Spanish movie for the audience out there. We call it the Spanish movie because it was a video assignment for Spanish class. We were in, I want to say sixth or seventh grade. We had this Spanish assignment where I think we just had to speak in Spanish in the video. And so we made this whole ridiculous movie, and like because by this time, like in our grade, like yeah, man, this has to be my favorite movie, honestly, because of the result of this and the fucking story behind this movie. So anyway, let me get back on track. So for our video assignment, we made this whole movie, and the only way to make it acceptable to submit as an assignment was that, and it was me, and because in my class the project was me, Hubert, Pierre, and Davey, I want to say, because we were the ones starring in the movie. Yeah, I think that was our group. Me, Pierre, Hubert, and Davey. We filmed this movie. Sorry, because I'm thinking about the outtakes. I swear we had some really great like outtake compilations, but this one in particular was so fucking funny. Like, so we had two versions of it. We had like a fully edited one, and then one with the outtakes in the scenes. And honestly, we loved it. I loved the original cut. But anyway, it was like a sort of like Mission Impossible like type of movie we were going for. It was me and Pierre, and we had to fly somewhere. We had to travel somewhere. Oh my God, what is the plot? Like, we had this mission to go somewhere, and through this mission, we're just going through all this crazy shit. But the only way we were able to submit it as a Spanish assignment is that we had some dialogue in Spanish, but it wasn't even like us. The only person that spoke in Spanish at all was Davey, and he played two characters in it. Oh my god. Oh man, it's so funny. So yeah, like so his first role was he played a pilot and he's flying us over to I don't even know. I don't know if we because Davey's Guatemalan and Pierre is Peruvian. So I don't know in the movie we were flying to either of those countries or not, but he's flying us somewhere, and all this shenanigans happening in the background while he's like, so like in his scene, his lines are just just fucking textbook facts about some Spanish culture. I can't remember. I don't know. Maybe there was an assigned country that we got, and we had to do, we had to do our research on that particular country. That might have been the assignment. But don't quote me on that. I mean, I'm like thinking so far back too. This is crazy. Man, I really wish I had Pat. I wish you were here right now with me talking about it because Pat and Tommy and John, they've been part. They took they had small roles in it. Damn, I don't want to get too lost into describing this movie. It's so funny though. So all this like just the way it was like produced and everything and shot is just so funny because it was so silly and dumb. But what made it so grand is that okay, so yeah, it wasn't our turn to submit our assignment, but the group before us, like I guess like the week before us, our friend our classmates, these I think Vanessa was part of the group, but her and two or three other girls, they made their Spanish video, and in it, they fucking roasted me. I guess like they did like some sort of like interview type of thing, and they're trying to make it look like they're at like a beach in I don't know what country, Mexico or I don't know, wherever. But their dialogue is in Spanish, and then at some point, I'll leave her name private. I won't say who, but she kind of breaks character and breaks the fourth wall, and she's like, for anyone that doesn't know, only like my childhood family and friends address me by my full name. So she's addressing me by my full name. It's like, is that you? She's like, you smell. So she's saying I smell, and that's the joke. And so we're watching this, like the whole class is watching it, and I'm like, oh, this bitch, she just started a war. So then we hadn't made our movie yet. So me and the guys got together. We created this whole plot, this whole movie, and so we had to fire back. And in the movie, so going back to our Spanish movie, we land in some country, and we we spot a dead body, or presumably a dead body, and so it's Davey again. Playing this victim, and we turn him over, and I don't even know if we ask in English or in Spanish, but we ask him like, "What happened? Who did this to you?" And he responds in Spanish in this dramatic way, and it's so fucking funny. I said "fory." He says the name of the girl who's the one that made fun of me, and then we're like, oh no, and then we see her on site, and we used the stuffed animal of Beast from Beauty and the Beast, and then we just create this whole fight sequence with the Beast doll and addressing it by the girl's name, and then it gets to, so it's just me and Pierre fighting fighting the beast doll, and then as like the finishing move, it's me, Pierre, and then like all the guys, Hubert, Davey, and funny enough, I don't know. Wait, maybe Pat. I don't know if you were there. I think you maybe missed out that day of shooting, but we see Tommy and John walking past just coincidentally, like they're on their way to Burger King, which is on the way. Hubert's house was on the way there, and they notice we're filming our movie, and then they jump in, so it's all of us like fucking stomping the the doll. Oh man. So yeah, I mean that was the gist of our movie. It's fucking ridiculous. And so we had that little classmate war dispute, right? So I think we got I don't know if we got an A, but I remember we did get a good grade for it. Senior Martinez, who was I don't know if I should have named him because he got in trouble for something naughty, but he loved the movie. Like I remember seeing him laughing at that scene, the fight scene, and it created a buzz in our class, our grade, in our school. And not only that, it fucking created a buzz in Wanakee School, which is our neighboring town. I mean, the only way you can find Haskell is if you're in Wanakee. Haskell is in Wanakee. But we didn't realize this until students from that school started commenting on it. But yeah, I was someone came up to me from that school and was like, yo, that movie was hilarious. And we're like, what? Or I was like, what are you talking about? And apparently the teacher was showing the other school Spanish classes our videos. And it was kind of cool, you know. It got our name out there, you know. This was before the fucking internet was blowing up. So, you know, just hearing it through word of mouth about other students seeing our video and laughing at it and shit, I was like, yeah, this was like the ultimate payback for what she did in her group video. But yeah, man, and so the tragedy behind this movie is that we do not have a copy of it. Only that teacher does. And who the fuck knows where he ended up because of a certain controversy. But yeah, we do not have a copy. None of us have a copy, the original copy of the Spanish movie. We often speculate that Hubert might have it, but I'm pretty sure he confirmed that he does not. I might have to double check. But man, I would love to watch that one more time. God damn you, train. I apologize if you hear the train in the background. Do my best to speak over it. Whoo, boy. I dragged that one. I apologize. A lot of the memories was coming back to me as I was talking about it. It was so funny. But yeah, I had to say that's probably my favorite because of all of those things I just spoke about. Just the humor behind it, just the way we came up with the idea, the competition, you know, with us and the girls. And then how it sort of went viral. It went to the other school. So it was pretty cool, man. That was pretty cool. That was like the closest thing of, I don't know, popularity that we got. That was like a taste of popularity that we were able to have. So it was an awesome experience. Sorry for the girls that had to suffer from the outcome of that. All right. That's what happens when you mess with your boy. Okay. But yeah, thanks, Pat. Thanks for asking that question. And again, anyone that's listening or watching, check out his he has this business that he's running, Four Bears Goods. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. At Four Bears Goods, FOREBEARSGOODS. He sells vintage clothing and other apparel items. So yeah, please follow, support. He puts out video content on his YouTube channel. So again, it's Four Bears Goods. And yeah, thanks again, bro, for submitting that question. And for anyone tuning in, please, I'm usually always pushing to just get some more comments, questions, recommendations, suggestions, anything, whatever comes to mind, leave it in the comment section. I would love to connect with my audience in that way. But yeah, that's it. I have been communicating with a lot of potential guests for the podcast. So yeah, as soon as I start locking down some dates, it's gonna get real exciting. Coming up, I have another Bitch Fest episode coming up with the boys, Nick Makoviak and Rickman. So that's gonna be exciting. This one's gonna be a little more it's definitely not gonna be as lengthy as the last one. That one I really lost control of. But I'm gonna try to, steer this one in a direction and keep it focused. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited to catch up with the guys. What else? Yeah, and I got some prepping up to do for the upcoming spring market. Commissions, private pieces I need to really get up on. I've been staying conditioned with my portrait sketches, but again, that's my conditioning. That's just my way of staying loose. I really need to shift some of that energy, that focus onto my other projects. So yeah, busy. Hot damn, but that's a good sign. That's a good sign. I got some money coming in now. Yeah, so if you enjoy this episode, please again subscribe if you are tuning in with the audio platform, or if you are watching on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel, ring the bell, that way you can keep up with all the content. Like, share, comment, especially if you have any ideas for any unnecessary deep dives you'd like me to get into. But yeah, let's keep the interaction going with some comments. I would love to stay connected, blah, 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 all that good jazz. Jesus, just fucking end the show already. Nah, for real. I appreciate you all. And hopefully, we can just keep this thing growing. All right. Stay safe out there. Supposedly there's another variant called like Delta Cron or some shit. I swear, man, this person must be like a fan of like, I wonder if they're going to get to like the Transformer Cron variant. That's what I'm waiting for. Transformer Cron. All right. Nah, I just hope everyone stays safe. Stay healthy. All right. Stay active. Stay aware. And yeah. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.